Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Anthony Davis is having an MVP caliber season. The player has a history of injuries, and this always worries fans, because Davis is the Lakers' best player currently. Davis is playing injured, but the situation has worsened and there are comments that the injury is serious and he will need to stay a few games to fully recover. Anthony Davis is injured and Lakers fans are apprehensive. The Los Angeles Lakers' perfect 3-0 start to the season already seems like a long time ago. Monday's 115-103 loss to the Detroit Pistons dropped LA to 4-3 overall and 1-3 on their 5-game road trip. Making matters worse, Anthony Davis, who scored 37 against Detroit to up his leading average to 32.6 points per game, was examined after aggravating a left foot injury in the fourth quarter. "I'll talk to my trainer and just kind of figure out what exactly is going on," Davis said after the game. "I've been managing it since this summer, honestly, and my goal for every game is to be on the floor. And I just kind of landed directly on the spot that's been killing me. So, we'll figure it out." Davis has not been ruled out of the Lakers game at the Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday to conclude the trip, sources told ESPN. However, those sources cautioned, with the foot issue plaguing the all-star big man from the end of last season through the Paris Olympics, it will be a day-to-day situation. Davis caught an entry pass from LeBron James to score with 4:46 remaining in Monday's contest to draw LA, which trailed by as many as 20 in the first half, within 103-96. But the bucket came with a consequence. When Davis planted his foot after jumping to catch the pass, the discomfort occurred, and he winced as he made his way back down the court on defense. The Lakers called timeout 20 seconds later when James collected the rebound on a Tobias Harris miss, and Davis immediately went to the floor, grabbing at the back of his left foot near the heel before receiving medical attention from his athletic trainer, John Ishop. Davis stayed in the game and scored on an alley-oop dunk from James on the next possession to cut Detroit's lead to 5 points with 4:10 left, but the Pistons finished the game on a 12-5 run from there to close things out. James, who finished with 20 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds while playing a season-high 40 minutes, was asked what Davis's potential absence could mean for LA. "I don't know," James said. "I'm going second by second." While a reporter followed up, Davis, who was standing next to where James was sitting, chimed in to say, "He's not out," referring to himself. James, hearing Davis, chose not to entertain the hypothetical. "I don't play the if game," James said. "We'll go off what AD says and see how he feels over the next couple of days and go from there. But it don't take a rocket scientist to know the impact if AD's in or out. Come on." While Davis's status might be in question, he made his opinion about his team's recent play crystal clear. "We're just two different teams right now," Davis said. "One game, we're this team who showcased it can be one of the better teams in the league. Then the next, we're this team who I don't even know who we are. So, we just got to be better. We got to put a full 48 minutes together, and we can't continue to do this if we expect to do anything this season." From the second half of LA's victory at the Toronto Raptors on Friday through the first half in Detroit, the Lakers were outscored 141-108 by two teams that failed to make the playoffs last season. It's the latest lull in a disappointing trip that started with an October 28 loss against the Phoenix Suns after LA failed to protect an 18-point lead. Falling to the Suns caused several players to state their team goal of not losing twice in a row all season, only for the Lakers to drop their very next game to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Following that defeat, Davis labeled the Toronto, Detroit and Memphis games all must-wins, another goal that was not met by this Lakers team trying to find its footing. "We're all disappointed," Lakers coach J.J. Redick said when asked about his team's demeanor after Monday's outing. "We're all disappointed for major problems the Lakers are facing right now. The Los Angeles Lakers' 103-115 loss to the Detroit Pistons highlighted the biggest problems the franchise is facing after their 4-3 start to the year. The Los Angeles Lakers suffered a devastating 103-115 loss to the Detroit Pistons last night, failing to pick up another road win as the team's 3-0 start became a 4-3 start within a week. The loss to the Pistons has given everyone a large enough sample size to judge the Lakers, who have picked up some impressive wins this season, while also falling to bad losses. There are several problems plaguing the Lakers right now. Blaming coach J.J. Redick might be an easy solution given the big game he talked after the team's hot start to the year, but there are deep roster issues that have reflected in the team's play so far. Even if Darvin Ham's coaching was flawed, this team is almost identical to what the Lakers had last season, so without talent upgrades, Coach Redick is stuck playing a style of ball he can't maximize. Lakers have worst bench in the NBA. The Lakers are the only team in the NBA receiving under 20 points per game from their backups, ranking dead last in bench scoring. Their bench is also the second worst three-point shooting unit in the league, converting 7.9 attempts per game at a 27.3% rate. The only team worse than that is the Denver Nuggets, converting at a 25.4% rate. The best bench piece for the Lakers might be Gabe Vincent, which is a worrying thought given Vincent has been a career backup who missed most of last season due to injury. Max Christie is still a developing prospect. Jalen Hood-Schifino is expected to be traded, Cam Reddish isn't offensively consistent, and Dalton Knecht is a rookie with a specific specialty in three-point shooting. The Lakers' backups aren't great defensively either, ranking last in blocks with 0.9 per game, and being the only team averaging under 1 block per game. This unit's 2.1 steals per game would also be tied for second worst in the league. With no real backup center outside Jackson Hayes, who is under NBA investigation for a domestic incident, it's clear the lack of impactful backups has dug the Lakers into a hole. Lakers are currently among the worst defensive teams. The Lakers have tried building a defense-oriented team in the past with Anthony Davis at the helm of the defensive unit, but the only time that worked was in 2019-20 when the team loaded up on defenders to create a unit that was impossible to score on. That's no longer the case, with the Lakers having a 117.4 defensive rating to start the season and allowing 118.4 points per game, ranking 24th in the NBA. Teams are making 45.0 field goals per game against the Lakers, shooting at a 49.1% rate. This isn't sustainable for the franchise as they don't have the offensive talents to consistently make up for this porous defense on the other end. They're the third worst team in paint defense and the worst from 5 to 9 feet, showing they have major holes to plug in their interior despite the presence of Davis. Their 4.0 blocks per game are tied for 26th in the NBA with the Philadelphia 76ers, whose starting center is yet to play a minute this season. They rank 25th in steals with 7.1 per game and are also ranked 26th when it comes to rebounding in the NBA with 41.6 per game. All these major defensive failings have contributed to the team's 4-3 start. Lakers are last in the league with 3-point made per game. With the defensive issues we pointed out in the previous entry, there have to be some major offensive boosts which would explain the Lakers having a positive net rating and points per game this season. The simple answer to that is that they're one of the best teams when it comes to scoring in the paint and getting to the line, but the more expanded answer also has to account for how terrible they've been as a shooting unit. The Lakers are averaging 29.7 three-pointers per game this season, dead last in the NBA as they're the only team averaging under 30 attempts per game. Their reduced volume hasn't created incredible accuracy either, with the Lakers ranked 17th in three-point percentage, with 35.1% so far this season. The low volume of attempts with the middling efficiency places the Lakers last on three-pointers made per game this season with just 10.4 per game. J.J. Redick wanted to revolutionize the Lakers' offense by encouraging more open shots, but they clearly lack the personnel to be a high-powered perimeter offense. They're so much better at interior scoring that it would be silly to go away from that to optimize shot making, but the modern NBA has shown that every contender needs to be a major threat from deep to avoid collapsing defenses. No real replacement for Anthony Davis. The Lakers' best player this season has easily been Anthony Davis, who is averaging 32.6 points, 11.6 rebounds, 3.0 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.7 blocks through 7 games this season. He's played like a leading MVP and DPOY candidate, but he can't be in the conversation for the award if the Lakers don't have a competitive record. Due to how important he has become to the team on both ends of the court, it seems they are completely rudderless when he's on the bench. As previously mentioned, the Lakers are one of the worst bench defenses in the NBA, with Jackson Hayes not being capable of replacing Davis's multifaceted impact, averaging 5.0 points and 4.0 rebounds. Other backup bigs like Christian Wood and Jared Vanderbilt are injured, leaving Hayes and two-way signee Christian Koloko as the only options. This isn't nearly good enough, as the team hopes to land a big man like Walker Kessler to supplement Davis.